go back to this moment. Let's talk about this moment. This is the moment you're going to be known for the next 12 months.
That's my only claim to fame.
No, I'm sure there's all the great stuff you've done, great writing, etc. But what happened in this moment? You were at Wimbledon. Where were you exactly, and what did you do?
I was sitting on #1 court watching Serena Williams, and I noticed a bit of a stare down to the right. I couldn't quite see who it was. And I was just snapping away on my little camera. I was trying to get pictures of Serena Williams serving. And a very polite, nice Royal Protection Officer tapped me on the shoulder and said, would you mind not taking photos of the Duchess? She's here in a private capacity in front of 7,000 people. I was gobsmacked. And then I said, does she really expect, private capacity or not, to come here and, you know, one of the most famous women in the world not have photographs?
They clearly tapped on the wrong woman's shoulder.
I think they rather regret it.
Yes, I think they probably do.
You know, that might have been a misunderstanding in that moment. But this is what Ranveer and I disagreed with earlier.
Yes.
And we'll talk about this very quickly and we should get into the heart of this debate. But I think even in a public place, people deserve and we should respect their privacy, even in a public place.
She was getting a lot of privacy. I mean, people were not right in her face with cameras. Kate had been there 2 days earlier, and she also caused a stir. There was a tension. Nobody was very close to her. She sat there with perfect aplomb, smiling, pleasant. Quite a few people snapped her, and then, not from close quarters, but then turned away and watched the match. And it was just such a contrast.
And I think that that's the problem, so that people are thinking, hang on a minute, you can have an Instagram page, you can, you know, want to ask to edit the September... Ask to edit, not being invited, but ask to edit the September issue of Vogue. You can, you know, make your political views and your sort of liberal attitude public, and then you can go to a public venue where you know everybody's got a phone and it's on TV, and then say, actually, no, thank you.
It's ridiculous.
And it's that double standards.
It's hypocritical.
Well, hang on.
It's hypocritical that people are criticising. Why?
If you're somewhere publicly, even if it's a concert, and yes, there are cameras there, but if somebody's taking pictures of you, you could turn around and say, excuse me, do you mind not taking a picture of me? That's absolutely fine. Just because I've got an Instagram account doesn't mean that's public licence to everyone.
Not as a royal in the royal box at Wimbledon. It's ridiculous.
But you know, it's probably the security guard as well.
But Nick, let's just get to the heart of the debate here. The question that we want to try and get is the media, or particularly the sections of the press, more importantly, are they treating Meghan differently, do you think?
Yeah, I do. I think they're treating her in a really bad way. I think they are being so, you know, picking up on very small things and making them much, much bigger and magnifying them. And one of the biggest problems is that, you know, when Meghan was a star of Suits, she could use her social media to reply. When I did the Global Gift Gala, and we asked her, which is a big philanthropic event, and Meghan was asked to host it. So I spent a lot of time with her.
What's she like?
She's a beautiful... She's exactly what you see. She's extremely altruistic. She's very articulate.
You know, over the years, people have, time to time, criticised Prince Charles for talking about climate change and things like that, you know. But he's still done it, and look where the world is now. We're talking about climate change as a, you know, as a real thing, not just as something that science argues about.
I think...
So, aren't the royals meant to use their position?
I think the problem is when their public behaviour is deeply at odds with what they're saying.
She's taking private jets and then saying...
going off to extraordinarily expensive baby showers. The problem was that Meghan... I don't think there was racism against Meghan. She came into a great wave of goodwill. I can remember crying over poor little Prince Harry walking behind his mother's coffin. We all longed for both of them to be happy. She seemed a really wonderful, bright... I mean, she is a wonderful, bright, sparky person, but I think that she's let her sort of altruism and her and her sort of awareness of her public position run away with her, and she still sees herself as some sort of Hollywood celeb, like George.
She still is.
But she's royal.
Look at Prince Charles. He was best friends with Joan Rivers. You know, he knows loads of celebrities, and nobody cares. They think that's quite fun. The thing about her is, I think we, as a nation, potentially are being quite xenophobic.
Because she's American.
Because she's American.
And
I think for both reasons, to be honest.
Princess Diana featured on the Vogue cover 3 times. Kate herself on 2016. William was on the front cover of GQ magazine.
Queen Victoria.
Prince Harry edited the Today Show on the BBC.
And Queen Victoria wrote a journal in the Highlands all about a propaganda piece. It's been for years. This is all about perception of the royal family, and it's positive.
But it's that woke, achingly hip and cool sort of tone of Vogue.
As if Sarah Vine was speaking on behalf of the entire British community and saying, you're not British enough. And that, I'm afraid, goes into the world of xenophobia and racism. It's saying that you're not British. It's disgusting. She couldn't be more British. She's married
You know
a
what?
Britishman,
No,
and
no,
she's
no.
now
But I
she is a
remember-
Briton. And then but to say just because you don't like some of the things that she's doing, to then call her out to say you're not British enough,
But
you're not good enough to be a princess is disgusting.
That's quite wrong. She's potentially the most wonderful princess.
Yeah, of course.
She's got an awful lot of good qualities.
Yeah.
I think the problem is that she's either not being well advised or she's not listening to the advice, because I think that she does the sort of things which get up people's nose. They think, here's a woman who's a bit up herself.
I don't know who's advising. She talks about mental health. She goes out and does stuff with the Grenfell
Yes, but she
victims more
also
than anybody's
goes
ever
around
done. And
being
in
I
from
think
her
we've also
world.
got
She's
to remember-
extraordinarily hypocritical in some of her stances.
Okay, we're
and
gonna
the
have to
woke
leave it
ones.
there. It is fascinating.
It is fascinating. You know, my
It
only
is
word, I mean, I
fascinating.
think actually, and I think we should be celebrating somebody
Definitely.
like her. You know, I think it's fantastic.
Well,
for
we
the
can't
country.
be sycophantic.
It's
The
fantastic.
British public
I'm not
are never
saying, I'm not saying
sycophantic about
sycophantic.
anybody.
I'm not saying
So we
be
can't be.
sycophantic.
It's just not
But
in our DNA.
I think we should be celebrating. It's a fantastic moment. With what's going on in Britain right now, with the race and divide, we should be so delighted that it's happening in our royal family.
I think
We
you're
really
right
should
about
be.
that, yeah.